Gotta look slim.
Pretty good.
Hello and welcome to episode 93 of Jobless Weebs. Marco the Bureau Mexican, and with me today,
Brian here.
So nice to see you, Brian. How are you?
Doing pretty good. I had a pretty good week, and I watched Super Mario Brothers once again, so that was awesome.
Again?
Yeah, I love it.
Dub or sub?
No. Oh gosh. In English, it was good. But yeah, oh man, I've been playing a little bit more Tears of the Kingdom, and like freaking Princess Zelda. What the crap is she doing?
Why?
Like she. So we go around, of course, the different areas of the map, and whenever we meet one of the new people, or like whenever we get the main quest going again, wherever we are, we kind of like follow the main person for the Gorons, the Zora, and so on. But then when you like get to the monster or whatnot, you see Princess Zelda going to like the monster's lair, and it's like, wait, is she like in cahoots with the bad things? And it's like, oh, Princess Zelda, are you like doing something bad? I don't know. It's like, it's really freaking me out because, of course, there are other things happening also with like time, since she's, of course, like the Sage of Time, but I'm not sure like what she's really doing, so it's like blowing my mind. I'm like, oh man, I hope it ends in a good way, or maybe they're psyching us up for the third one. for the most recent ones, we'll see.
Wouldn't be surprised at this point.
Yeah.
But, oh boy.
Yeah, because they're going ham on this, like Breath of the Wild and then Tears of the Kingdom. It basically follows right after Breath of the Wild, so yeah, it's pretty good so far.
Okay. I don't know. I don't have a Nintendo console, but like for the memes that I watch, like
yes.
I can just imagine like, you know, the game creators were like, what shall we do next?
Oh yes.
We have a stick and a rock. What if we fuse them?
Fuse them. Good idea.
And the other guy's like, no. Let's make flying machines and flamethrowers.
Oh, fantastic.
And like everyone else like,
yeah,
let's do that.
Let's do it. And, another good idea, putting Koroks where you can fuse them to the sticks and the rocks.
Yeah.
Oh, what were they thinking? Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Which at the same time, I can see a lot of game developers saying like, why didn't we think of that too?
You
bring whatever they have in. We're gonna do the same.
Yeah. Oh, it's gnarly. It's blowing up like crazy. Oh, so crazy. Yeah. How have you been now?
Been good. Another rough week, but you know, by the time this recording comes out, we just had a holiday.
That's right.
Hopefully future me used it wisely, which knowing me, he probably will not. But
yes.
But oh boy, yeah. That's good. But today we're gonna talk about a pretty long anime, and we were just talking, and I was also thinking the same thing. The last long anime that we talked about was City Hunter, probably, and that was back in episode 50-something or 60-something. So
really, wow, quite a long time ago then.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah, this anime is pretty good. It's what I would call an isekai done right. Or, you know, an isekai before isekai turned into this, like, garbage or dumpster on fire.
Yes.
We know
the dumpster fires. Yeah. That's right.
It's like that it's a great story with good story building. Like, a little slow and a little
Yeah.
messed up on some parts, but it also makes sense given
Yeah.
the situation of the culture that
Mhm.
the setup it's happening at.
Yeah.
Uh,
And all the intricacies with
yeah,
how the kingdoms are specifically.
yeah. Sadly, it is not completely adapted.
Yeah,
It
I noticed that
is,
too.
yeah, it is originally a novel,
Yeah.
and the anime was adapted, I think, up until the fourth or fifth volume.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and I
Because there are more than 9, right?
yeah, I think there are
More
like
than 9.
9 volumes or so, and the the anime was supposed to adapt 6 volumes,
Oh,
but
but it just got
yeah,
canceled or
yeah, it
something.
got canceled, and
Huh.
that was kind of
Yeah,
sad,
that's a bummer.
because the story it's it's a big brain story.
It is, yeah.
It's like
it is.
if you're not paying attention,
you miss something.
you miss it, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
I agree.
I'm not saying
agree.
I'm not saying that it's like a Lord of the Rings lore,
Right.
but it's something pretty
Yeah,
pretty complex.
it is, and a lot of people like involved, and a lot of moving parts. So yeah, and also the political intrigue. I felt that was a very huge.
I thought that was great.
part of
It
it.
was, normally isekais, they go with the regular ones, like, oh yeah, the king, the queen, the demon lord, like your normal
Go get the
cliches, and
demon
it's
lord.
like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
power struggles, yeah, whatever. It's this guy that he was not allowed to do what he wanted, so he decided to oppose the king, and that's it. With 12 kingdoms, however, it's not so easy.
Yeah.
And yeah, also the protagonist, we have you would say one main protagonist,
Yeah.
but the anime develops among a series of protagonists, and at some point Yoko pretty much
She almost takes a backseat.
Yeah,
To a lot of what's happening.
Yeah, because the anime also, it is covering a lot of, I would say, timelines in which we have like the present where the main character Yoko, it's having her adventure. I wouldn't call it adventure, but
something like that.
She's there, and a lot of things happen before she arrived to this world, before she was isekai, like a couple of years.
Yeah.
And the last arc happened like hundreds of years. Way back.
Oh, yes, that's right.
But,
that's right.
Oh boy.
And a few story elements that are like in between and all that jazz. But yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But oh boy, let's start and let's try to make not like as
simple as we can.
as simple as we can, and
sounds good. We'll try. Yeah.
Oh boy, so yeah, the story starts with Yoko. Do you remember her last name?
I don't.
Well,
yeah.
I'm just grateful that I didn't forget her name.
Yeah.
So
Yoko.
It's Yoko. Mm-hmm. She is a red hair girl, and also like from the get go, we see her that she is a people pleaser.
Yes.
She's like the student representative in her classroom. She tries to please people, like classmates, students, her parents. And at the same time, she's also being ostracized because she's been a people pleaser.
That's right. Yeah. And this is a kind of a unique, or kind of like kind of rare to see, I would say, in anime characters, because she,
and also with female characters. I just noticed that.
Okay, yeah, with female characters, yeah, exactly. To the point, as you said, yeah, she hardly has any friends, or like close friends. She like goes so far to the point that she tries to get along with people instead of really connecting with people. I think the part that really got me with like how she's characterized is how soft her voice is in the beginning. It really stands out. It's
She's
like
a Shinji.
yeah, exactly, and exactly, yeah, because she doesn't really do anything for herself, really, and yeah, it was like to the point where it almost grates on my nerves on how she sounded
Yeah,
because it was so
several
unique.
times.
Yeah, and I don't know what it was or it is, but and that's kind of rare too, hearing like a very soft spoken type of character portrayal in anime. So yeah,
Yeah, given that they're screaming
half
like
the time.
half the time.
True. But yeah, like I would say those were the things that stood out to me the most was like the old style animation since this was 2002.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah,
you
very
know
early.
the screen is still like 480 pixels or
Oh
like
yeah, I
that.
noticed that. Yeah,
The square.
It's a square. Yep, that's when you know it's an old anime.
Yeah.
And so when we kind of are introduced to her, she's having we kind of see like this vision of different things that are happening, but she wakes up and goes and starts to get prepared for school, but then her parents are there also. The dad kind of off to the dining hall, and then the mom kind of in the uh, hallway area. She comes down the stairs, and they're like, "Hey, like, you haven't dyed your hair yet. Are you?
I mean,
like, you gotta go to the
her hair
salon."
was naturally red.
That's
right.
Yes, naturally red. Super mind blowing because
And also, you know,
like,
it's weird
what
because
the-
anime has this trait of putting any
yes,
color
any
but
color hair.
black.
right.
Almost.
Yeah, like oh my gosh, like Toradora, where the guy has blue hair, and then oh my gosh, so many anime where it's like green, bright yellow, blue, red, purple, crazy colors. But yeah, for her it's like red, but it's not even like a bright red at this point in time. And it's like, oh man, just give her a break.
Yeah,
that's the thing about Japanese schools.
Yeah, contrary to what we see in anime.
Yeah.
it's like
surprisingly.
Yeah, the Japanese code in school is like, no, you know, like black hair and like you gotta go well dressed and everything because it speaks good about yourself. And she's like, oh, you should dye your hair. And she's like, okay, I'll do it because, you know, she wants to please people, but ends up not doing it. And and it's just that struggle that she kind of like wants to do what she wants. Yeah. But at the same time, she wants to please everyone. So she can't really have both ways.
Right.
She has two. Would you call them friends? I would call them more like acquaintances.
Yeah, I would say acquaintances. Yeah. Yeah. like nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah. Like the people that she actually talks a little bit more than the others, which is Asano, a guy, and
Yuka.
Yuka, yeah,
that's right.
And Yuka, and Yuka, she's pretty much victim of bullying.
Yeah.
And Yoko is like, oh no, you're my friend, and Yuka is like, you only talk to me when there's no one in here, and whenever I say hi to you, you just straight up ignore me.
Oh my gosh.
Like, she has a point though.
Yeah, she does. She has a huge point, and it actually made me really not like Yoka at this point in time, and even to the point where when they're in the classroom, she doesn't talk with her at all.
It takes a while for you to like her.
It does. It takes quite a while. Yeah.
I mean, and while you don't explicitly like Yoka, you're just like,
Or who?
the friend.
Yeah, Yuka.
Yuka, yeah. Like, well, you don't exactly
True,
like
you don't
her at the
like her
beginning.
either, yeah.
You grow to don't like her.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, she was kind of dealt unfortunate cards too, but yeah, I would say she also kind of has
if we're
this
gonna talk about
attitude.
unfortunate,
Ooh,
Asano.
Oh,
he's the guy that took
gosh.
the unfortunate to a new level.
So true. Like he isn't even like a meh character anyway. He's just like kind of like a okay guy, misguided, but yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I felt for him a lot. Yeah.
Oh boy, but okay, so we're still in Japan.
Yes.
And just one day, while she's on her classroom, this guy, his name is Koki.
Keiki?
Koki? Yeah, Keiki.
Oh,
he just stays there and tells like, hey, so you're my queen. I promise not to ever leave your side. And she's like, what's happening here?
My gosh.
And so suddenly some bird monsters arrive and make a wreck. And she's like, what the heck is happening here?
Yeah.
She goes to the roof where Asano and Yuka were at.
Yep.
And while Asano and Yoko were like crapping their pants, Yuka was like, this is awesome. This is what I've been waiting for.
Yeah, seriously. She's like all gung-ho about it. And to the point where she's like, I can use that sword. Like, give me that sword. And then I can like do stuff.
Yeah. So she has a sword.
Yeah.
Kiki gives some weird monster that pretty much takes over her to fight.
Yeah.
To make matter like short, they end up in a new world.
Yep.
Thanks to like a natural disaster.
Yeah, some sort of like hurricane or
like a typhoon.
It's like it looks like a typhoon. Yeah. So it bridges the world to the other world.
I mean, the mission was pretty straightforward. It was for Kiki to go pick her up, and she was supposed to be the queen. At this point, we don't know what or where. We just know that he was supposed to pick her up to be the queen.
Yeah.
And I guess that, the straightforward idea was like, she's the new queen. Everyone's happy. Yeah. But no.
Yeah.
Because at some point, they get separated because they are fighting against these beasts. And, like Yoko, she is able to understand what people are saying.
That's right.
But at the same time, when she gets together with Yuka and Asano, it turns out that, well, first of all, her appearance changed.
Yeah, strangely enough, which I didn't really even notice personally. But yeah.
I mean, I did notice just like the skin tone.
Okay. Yeah, a little bit. It did change.
She was tanned.
Right.
I mean, I can say that because I'm brown, so she was brown.
Yes, yeah.
but I mean, and also she discovers that people in here speak a completely different language.
Yeah.
And she's the only one able to understand this language.
Mm-hmm.
And also, she is called what is called a Kaikaku. Yeah, I made a note of that because I was going to forget it.
Yep.
So people coming from another part of the land, which is not part of this world, which is enclosed by 12 by 12 pieces of land or 13 pieces of land.
Yes, yeah, 13
are called Kaikaku, and they land on the kingdom of Go. And this kingdom has a really bad view of the Kaikaku.
Yeah. Yep. To the point where they're like tying them up and just tossing them into, prison basically. Yeah. And so they get tossed in, the three of them. Yeah, Asano and Yuka are like freaking out, like, how do you speak their language type of stuff. Yeah. Oh man, that people were really messed up for treating
Everyone in this
pretty
world
badly.
is really messed up.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Because let's just go a little further.
Yeah.
Because there's a point where they're escaping from people, because they are still in the kingdom of Ko.
Mm-hmm.
They're escaping from people. They don't know what the heck is happening.
Yeah.
But they're still being attacked by a lot of these beasts.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot find Keiki anywhere. And Keiki was like, "Oh, I will never leave your side," but like he's somewhere. Later, he appears with a new queen, and you're like, "What the heck is happening here?" Because he's not even a human.
Right.
He's
you
like,
see him as like this unicorn, weird, like, I don't know, it's like a weird antler horn branching out of his head, but he looks kind of sickly too. And Asano sees him briefly right around here.
Asano sees two Keikis, or two, because he sees how Keiki transforms into this like unicorn, and then he sees another unicorn, and he's like, "What the heck is happening here?" As well.
Oh my, poor guy.
I mean, pretty much, I would say the first 8 or 9 episodes.
Yeah.
You have no idea what is happening, because they're just bombarding you with a lot of information, world building,
being chased,
culture, facts, being chased, almost killed several times, or sold to kind of like slavery.
Oh yeah. Oh, by that one lady who totally made them think that she cared for them. Oh, dude, like, oops, don't father Maru-chan. That lady who totally tricked them in making them think they were like being taken care of and bringing to like a safe place, but that lady was terrible.
I really like that part, because Asano, Yuka, and Yoko, they come from Japan, and I mean, Japanese people are really nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So they were kind of like expecting something similar.
Right. Hospitality.
And especially Yoko, he kept this naive thought of like, oh well, the group of people were jerks, but these ones are nice, maybe.
Yes.
Well, Yuka just straight up.
Yuka didn't trust anybody.
Didn't trust anyone.
True, because she got kind of.
Because then she gets contacted by the king of Ko.
Of Ko, yeah.
And
that's right.
And he tells her like, "Oh, you're the protagonist of this story. You should be the heroine."
That's right.
Those guys, those wicked Kaikaku, the evil ones. Go kill them.
Yeah,
and she's like,
"Who in their right mind?" Yeah, and it's like, what? But yeah,
the thing is, girl, like you are not trusting anyone.
Yeah,
but the king comes and
literally tells you to kill the people you came with. Like,
so I'm not saying that they're your friends, but at the same time, it's like,
either, are you gonna listen to like a dubious king or kill your friends? It's so crazy.
Because they take their separate ways. She becomes like the queen's puppet.
Yeah.
And at the same time, Yoko stays with Asano.
Yeah.
And they are also traveling. And they get separated.
They do, and
Asano falls off a cliff, and we don't see him up until episode 30-something.
Yes. Oh, it's so crazy. Like, I really wanted to see more of them. Just them, but no, like, he's missing throughout the majority of the anime. Yuka she even goes back to Japan by episode 13.
Yeah.
And it's so weird that
and it was after
Yeah.
she has a clash with Yoko.
That's right. Yuka, so she really believes that she is like this destined to be a great heroine, or that she should be the chosen one.
That she's, I mean, it's gonna sound kind of bad because you're like, she thinks that she's special.
Yes. Yeah, as we learned from Mob Psycho, nobody is special.
Right.
But yeah, she really believes. She really believes that she's special to the point she's jealous of Yoko. I thought it was pretty good, like that storytelling. I guess you could say shortcut, because it's kind of like a convenient thing that they're two girls from Japan who are like totally opposite. Not really opposite, but kind of like total opposite in a way that one like totally believes in herself, and then the other totally doesn't believe in herself whatsoever. So yeah, I thought that was really, really cool that they had her clash early on in the anime like that.
Yeah, because Yuka didn't have a lot of character development. It was just her delusions of like I can do it, I'm special, which in its own way it's kind of impressive that she had the confidence in herself, or like too deluded in a way that I'm the protagonist of this story, and you guys are just like support characters kind of thing.
Yeah, in an unhealthy way, but she really believes it. So in a way, she is a foil to Yoko, because Yoko, at this time, she's really unsure of herself. She's really not.
And there's also a point where Yoko just completely loses it and kind of like starts going that path. Even when
because she
even when she is rescued by Rakushan.
That's right.
The rat folk guy. She's like, no, I'm not trusting you, and because like kind of like at this point you can see it normal. It's like, okay,
right. Normally you don't want to trust just about anyone, but she takes it to the point where she's starting to act like Yuka, where it's like, oh, don't trust anybody. You're only out for yourself, and kill people pretty much before they kill you. She's
like swinging her sword to anyone.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And so that I think that was like a very subtle thing that they did in the early parts, which was pretty good, because I think Yoko needed that first, that kind of like disillusionment that these people are messed up, but of course she kind of took it the wrong. She took it to the extreme where she doesn't trust anyone. But I think in a way that was kind of necessary for her to, realize that you do have to like stand up for yourself and become your own person, type of thing.
And at the same time, like you have to trust people and make connections, because while she was in Japan, she had everyone at arm's length, but she still wanted to please everyone.
Right.
And at least what the first arc did was enabled her, to trust people, and she starts by trusting Rakushan.
Yeah.
And then
MVP. He's pretty cool. Yeah.
He is. Right. He's one of my favorite characters. And also when she makes friends with the king of N, and his Kaiki, and kind of like from there, they unravel like why she's being attacked by the king of Go.
Yes.
And it turns out that the king of N is also from Japan. He's also a Kaikaku, but he's been a king for more than 200 years.
Yeah.
And this is where we
500,
learn.
I think. Yeah.
And this is where we learned more about how the political situation happened in this land.
Yeah.
So it turns out that when everything was on, disorder, the god, I forgot the name of the god.
Like Tente.
Yeah. The god Tente put everything in order. And the god created 13 pieces of lands. And he appointed 12 kingdoms. And for those 12 kingdoms, there are 12 kings and 12 keikis, or those unicorns.
The 12 Kirins. Or Kirins. Yeah.
And the idea is that these magical unicorns choose the king by the will of the heaven. So they receive a revelation or something, and so it's like not everyone can be a king.
That's right. Yeah.
So by the will of heaven, the kings are chosen, and those are chosen because they're supposed to be the ones who bring prosperity to the land. And the more that a land has a king for the longest time, the more a land prospers. And it kind of makes sense,
Yeah,
like,
it does.
There's no fluctuation in power whatsoever, so it is obvious that you will see more progress.
Yeah, stability and kind of like just the overall morality of the people. Yeah.
But also, this brings to the king a set of responsibilities. And also, I don't think I've mentioned, but the king becomes immortal.
Oh, yes.
And his officials also become immortal, as long as, they're like in the records.
That's right. They kind of like bestow that privilege or right to the people in the palace.
Which is also the reason behind the stability of a kingdom. Because you have your officials that they don't get sick, so that they can work without a problem, make the land prosper. But there's a catch.
There is. If it's a bad ruler, then the land basically goes to crap.
Yeah, if there's a bad ruler, like not only the land, but also like these monsters that I forgot the name, the shokan.
Which ones?
The demons. How are they called?
Oh, the Yoma?
The Yoma.
Yeah, the Yoma.
Yeah, if they do not if they're not righteous in how they govern people, a lot of these Yoma start infesting the lands, and the kingdom goes in decline. At the same time, the king is judged by the will of the heavens.
Yes.
And it will strike his magic unicorn
with like a disease.
And
so it's like, and then of course then the magic unicorn can't really like serve the ruler right. But it's like a lot of weight is on the ruler for doing a good job and stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, there's really no bad side towards being a kind ruler. It's like you're a kind ruler, a good ruler.
Oh yeah,
like
people love you.
Like people will love you. You have a long life. But if you start imposing a lot of taxes or ridiculous decrees, it's like your magic unicorn will fall ill, and if your magic unicorn dies, you die.
Yes, that's right.
Only you, not the officials.
That's right. Yeah.
That was also something that I was, kind of like impressed, because like, okay, just the king dies, the officials remain. And a lot of the story it's continue because the officials from a corrupt kingdom continued.
That's a good point.
A lot of times, the officials were like, no, we're just, our king is a jerk. So So like if the magic unicorn dies, the king dies.
Yeah.
But if the king dies, or like rather if he takes his life or someone kills him,
right.
and by kill him means either
beheading,
cut the head or cut the body.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
The magic unicorn survives.
Yes.
That's how it works.
Yes.
Which, you know, in a way, I thought that there's a lot of weight with these rulers.
Yeah, and it's pretty well thought out because it's a balance of power too. Because it's like the ruler can't rule without a unicorn, a magic unicorn, by the laws of heaven or whatnot. But yeah, it's like this ruler has this power as long as they're a good ruler and whatnot.
Yeah, and there's no way for them to get away with it because they're judged by the heaven, and it's like, how the heck do you hide against that kind of thing?
Well, that's a good question because we do see a few rulers who abuse or are improper after some time.
Right. And so for the first arc, now we understand that the freaking king of Ko was sending the Yoma were contracted to her magic unicorn, to his magic unicorn, which was a girl. And the heavens caught of that and stroke his magic unicorn with a disease. And he was like, oh, no, I was going to kill you because the king of N is also a Kaikaku and he has prosperity. So I couldn't have another kingdom being prosperous. And it's like,
yeah, that
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of an odd villain.
Why would an outsider like have any effect on your kingdom? That you have your power, like that outsider, like, because that's the other thing. Kings cannot like have power with other kingdoms.
Yes, very, very.
The moment they try
separate.
Like invasion or something, they are struck by the heavens.
Yeah,
which is something that he did.
Yes,
not exactly, invaded.
Oh, right, but because
the kingdom,
Yoko was basically the queen of K. Yeah, it was definitely King Ko's.
And it was also fault. Like in his plan to put a fake queen, to put like a spell on Keiki.
Oh yes, yeah. King Ko. So this is what I was thinking. It's kind of a shallow reason, because he is setting up this fake queen in this other land so that he wouldn't look like a bad king. And he hated King Ken, or
the king from N.
Sorry, N. The king from N, because it made him look bad. So I thought it was kind of weird. Like the motivation was kind of shallow. Yeah,
because he was like, dude,
who cares?
It's like you have your own kingdom, literally. And you knew the rules, and yet you broke them.
That's right. He definitely got what he deserved. Well, sadly, his Kirin was struck with disease,
and he ended up killing his own Kirin when he was about to kill Yoko.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was. Oh, it was tragic, but in a poetic way, because
it was.
Like it's kind of like that idea of they will be struck by the heavens and whatnot. So because he killed his own Kirin, the Kirin is dead. He died not too long afterwards. After that.
Yeah, so after that, Yoko, she frees Keiki, her Kirin, and she takes over the palace.
Yeah.
At this point, like, the only character development that she had was, like, now she trusts people a little. Like, now she's a better judge.
Yes.
Whom should she trust?
Yes.
And she has she reunites with Yuka after Yuka had her eyes open that I was not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And she comes back to Japan.
That's
and I
right.
think kind of like a year passed or something like that.
To what point? To the point where she sees
when Yuka comes back to Japan.
Oh, that time? I'm not sure the time that it took, but yeah, it was within a year, I'd say, for Yuka to come back.
And she goes back to Yoko's family.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
And tells her family like, no, yeah, she's doing good. And her family is like, perhaps we pushed it a little too much. It's like, oh, you think?
You think? Slap. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I thought that was a really odd part, because this is an early isekai, definitely not like the ones, of course, we see nowadays with the OP characters and harems and like the vending machines in other worlds. But yeah, it's fascinating.
You're like, what's this? An actual plot? Get away!
No way!
Get away from here!
Give me my dumpster fire. Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was kind of cool how Yuka is back, but then did that part? I also thought that part where she sees the other kid who was transported and then brought back. I thought that was really weird. The dark-haired guy who like is painting and stuff.
So that really guy is also a Kirin.
He was, yes.
He is a Kirin.
Taiki, right?
Yeah, Taiki. It's from another kingdom. He is a Kirin, and probably we're jumping back and forth.
We are.
I hate that every time, but
yes, yeah.
So the thing with babies here is that
yes.
babies grow in threes.
Dude, this
also,
is the weirdest
also the magical
thing.
bees, they also grow in threes. The way it happens is that a couple needs to be married.
Yes.
And they
have to be in the
tie
same
a knot.
town.
Yeah, they have to be from the same town,
or
married,
like living in the same town.
And they tie a knot on this special tree. And monsters, they do not get close to these three.
Yeah.
And so
after some time,
they pretty much wish for what kind of kid they want.
Yeah.
Now, this kind of like typhoon that brought Yoko to this world, those are natural disasters that can be either, happen naturally,
right,
or they can happen, due to like a king's command to the Kirin. The way it happened was that Yoko is originally from this world, but during one of these storms, she was sent to Japan and she was born, as a normal baby.
As a normal baby, yeah. Because on these trees, what happens is that after it's tied, like the ribbon wish is tied to the tree branch, there's like fruit grown from the tree, and it's so odd. But yeah, Yoko, she's from this,
and that's also
world.
why she changed, and on the second arc, that's why the guy also changes his kind of like physical appearance. Because once they return to their original world, they are supposed to take the appearance that they were supposed to have.
Yes.
So while they, let's say, like they borrow some, physical characteristics from Earth, from Japan.
All right.
Once they go back to the original world, they have like their true physical self, if you would.
Yeah.
And so what happens on the second arc with this guy, he was spirited away.
Yeah.
For 1 year.
For 1 year, that's right. And after this 1 year, he just suddenly shows up again. Well, in Japan.
And he's also supposed to be a Kirin. He also chose a king.
That's right.
And during this time, the story is being told to Yoko.
Yeah.
And she's like, so this kingdom doesn't have neither a king nor a Kirin. And it's like, yeah, that's correct. And the thing is that even when the Kirin dies, it will start to, grow from the tree again.
Yeah.
But
because they're only 12 at any given time.
They're only 12.
Yeah.
So the fact that a new fruit has not come out tells them like it's still alive, but we don't know where.
Right. Yep.
And at the same time, we have Yuka interrogating this guy.
Yeah, who just draws paintings all day.
And the guy is painting the 12 kingdoms.
Oh, I thought that was such a surreal thing.
Everyone is like bullying him because he's cursed.
Yeah.
And they're like, and they're bullying him, but it's like, oh, every time that we bully him, something bad happens. It's like, well, doesn't that give you a clue?
Yeah.
He's like,
oh my gosh.
Shouldn't you just stop bullying him?
Seriously.
Because it's like,
yeah.
Because they were like, no, literally, like some people have died. We've seen hands pulling people in the pool. He's like, and you keep bullying him. Interesting.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. So
normally, I would be really freaked out. He's like, if I see that,
like you just don't bully someone.
The guy bullied that kid, and then that guy died, I wouldn't even get near him.
Right.
And yet,
people just keep doing it. Yeah, I thought that was crazy. But the thing is, the other layer is that he himself doesn't remember that he was in this other world. He just has like memories of vague memories, I guess.
And also each Kirin, each magic unicorn has a beast. I forgot the name of the beast, but it's kind of like a like a chimera kind of thing beast that they are always with them.
That's right.
And I mean, I don't know if you made the connection.
Yeah.
This chimera monster
was still around.
Yeah, it's still
yes,
with him.
I did actually notice that. I was like,
because
it's that thing
when
that's
Yuka was kind of
them.
like choked, he was like, "Are you an enemy?" And she was like, "I'm friends with the queen of gay," and then she was let go, and it's like, "Holy crap!" Like,
dude, yeah.
Actually, like in the later volumes, I think the part that was supposed to be adapted next was the story of how he returns to the 12 Kingdoms.
Oh, no way!
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I would have loved to see a continuation of that thread because I felt like it was just a blip in this anime.
Yeah,
it felt empty.
The story now continues with how he will return to the 12 Kingdoms, and I think Yuka would have appeared again.
Oh, really? That's good because like I really wish that we could have seen more of that. But that makes sense. That Okay.
Yeah, sadly,
the anime just didn't cover.
I couldn't find the novel translated. The novel is translated up until the point as the anime.
Oh, really?
So yeah, just like the first 4 volumes or so are translated. So after this kind of like small interlude, we have how Yoko makes a transition to be a real queen.
Oh, yes.
Because the thing with her is that she's still a people pleaser.
Right.
And also because she doesn't know crap about the world.
Yeah. She's totally ignorant. Well, the ministers and the high officials surrounding her, they're also kind of like taking advantage of her, but to the point where she just
that's the part that I was talking about, because it's like even if the king is wicked, the officials they can either be wicked, or fair, but they don't have any consequences,
right?
Unless the king or queen takes action.
Right. Yeah.
Because now during this time that she is the newly appointed queen, now we see the story of 2 other girls.
Yes.
One, a princess who is the daughter of another king. I forgot.
King Ho.
King Ho, the king of Ho.
Yep.
And this king was so strict and pure up to like a radical point where he just started killing people who committed sins, as he called them.
Yes, and petty infractions of not even law, but for King Ho, they were like punishable to death. Because like one of the sins I remember clearly was this guy's wife went to. Oh, actually, it was when. Well, anyway, this lady was executed because she wore a comb into town. And it's like weird little things like that.
Yeah,
like makes
what?
no sense. Yeah. Well, to King Ho, it was like you're dead if you
like
do
capital
anything.
punishment.
Yeah, you're dead. Yeah.
And so the officials rebelled and killed them. Killed the Kirin as well.
Yep.
Kill the queen.
The queen and some of the other family, except...
And they spare the princess. And the princess, she was like 15 years old for 30 years.
Yes.
Which was how long this king reigned.
Yes.
And so she was thrown into kind of like an orphanage. And I'm going to skip a lot of parts.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But it's like...
And her name's
Shoka. Shoko?
I think Shoke or something like
Shoke.
that. They did call her a couple of different things, though.
Yeah.
Because she was a princess.
The princess.
The other girl was Suzu.
The other girl was Suzu. She also was Kaikaku from Japan.
But 100 years ago.
100 years, so
plus.
Still like the Meiji era.
Yeah.
And
this, oh my gosh, this storyline was really
it was
tragic,
really dramatic because we're gonna skip a bunch of good parts.
Yeah.
But it's like it came to the point where Suzu was like, "Oh, I've heard there's this new queen and she's a Kaikaku. So she will surely save me from my pain of being a slave to this official, and now I'm immortal, but I've been living a slave for more than 100 years. So surely this queen will help me out."
Yeah.
On the other hand, we have the princess saying like, "Oh, so this queen just appeared. She's a Kaikaku.
Yes.
She's the same age as me,
but she
was given the kingdom
stuff.
It's like, I'm gonna kill her."
Yeah, because everything was taken away from her. Dude, like when she was traveling and the people found out that she was the princess, and they were gonna execute her in the like splitting by bulls.
Yeah. Oh boy,
dude, that was like, I was because that was like a real method of execution in like the medieval times or whatnot. But man, that was
I forgot to mention earlier, but I liked how they kept it as this kind of like feudal Asian kind of setting.
Right.
It was not like, again, like, because in Isekai we have this kind of like medieval Europe, and then like, throw some Japanese culture.
Exactly.
Throw this, and it's like,
exactly.
I'm saying that it's bad, but it's like, I like how they kept these
like new culture,
this setup, this only culture, like only one. And there were different cultures, but essentially it derived from kind of like the same feudal Asian type of culture.
Yeah.
And so the princess is rescued by the same guy that killed her father. He's like, okay, you cannot stay here. So
exile.
So like you will be exiled to another kingdom, and you will be the servant of another queen. And she is also like gets fed up of being a servant because she is a princess, and she still has this pride of being of the high society. And so she steals some treasures. She steals a mount, and she just makes her way to K, so she can find good favor with the queen, become an official, and then kill her. Because it's like, Yeah, that sounds like a pretty solid plan. So sure, do it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and then we get to see these two girls, totally different motivations, but so similar, going their way to meet Queen
I felt
K.
that they were like the two ends of the spectrum.
Yes,
Because one, like, pretty much was like
destitute.
Yeah, one had this pure hatred, saying like, oh, how does a girl that now has this and now I don't?
Mm-hmm.
That is mine.
Fair?
And this other girl that the whole time she was a slave and she suffered a lot. She was like, oh, she's gonna save me. So she was kind of like praising for her.
Right.
And then we had Yoko, that she also had her share of problems because she was still wanting to be a people pleaser. That she was not being a queen.
Yes.
Like, and the officials were like smirking at her, saying like, oh, she's just a puppet.
Yeah, to the point where she gets fed up with it and basically abandons her post to go out to the people and like mingle with what's really going on.
Yeah, I like this portion a lot because you know the officials there, they seem pretty trustworthy.
Queen Yoko's?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, they had, you know, like their crap together. It's like, okay, they do know what they're doing. But then you figure out that those trustworthy officials were behind a lot of crap. And it's like, I really love that part because I was not expecting that turn of events.
Yes.
Because you know, like there was this only a lord of a part of the land who was deemed a traitor. And I was like, I don't think he's a traitor. And she thought
she did.
Like she thought like, no, he's not a traitor, but I still don't trust him. And
so she banished him.
I just love the writing in that part of how like the rest of the officials were like, yeah, let's make that guy our scapegoat. So we just keep doing our nasty stuff. It turns out that the Kingdom of K was a complete disaster.
It was because mainly in part of the former queen who was totally infatuated with Keiki, which was also kind of an interesting part. But yeah, it was totally run by like these high officials, and to the point where Yoko was like a puppet queen. I thought that was pretty cool because when Yoko was out, and that was also when the rebellion was kind of like being planned and executed, she had to learn that there's this dynamic of like officials and rulers looking down and then the people like looking up, and so you can't like please. And I think that's where she like learns how to like not please like one or try to like do both, because I think that was like her last character development that she had to go through.
Yeah, because especially it was not like, you know, trying to please the crowd or the officials.
Yeah,
it was like, at least in this world, it's like, girl, you're the queen.
Right.
It's like, if you do something wrong, the heavens will punish you. It will not punish them.
Yeah.
But like them, they will have to receive the heaven's punishment from you. Because it's like, you have to do
because you are like the conduit.
Like you have to be aware of your surroundings and make your call yourself. Because it's like don't let the officials say this or not, or like take into account what they're saying, but you are the last one to say we're gonna do this. And she tried doing that, but before she left her post. But it was more than, you know, trying to make her will. It was more like, oh, I'm fed up with this, do whatever the heck you want. And when the rebellion started, she was like, oh crap, no, I'm missing some things, and I have to go to the proper procedures. And I have to go to like the end of this. Because it's keeping again a lot of parts, the three girls meet each other. Yoko still, it's not telling them that she is the queen, but they start the rebellion and against this tyrannical lord
who thinks that he can
basically
kill anybody he wants.
Because he's like, the heavens have not done anything, so that means I can do it wrong, right?
Yeah, this world is wrong because of the way it's set up. Which, in a way,
it had some truth, because the heavens only punish the king.
Right.
Again.
Right. Because Shoko, he wasn't a king. He was like an appointed official.
Yeah.
But kind of like, of course, a tyrannical kind of guy. So he was like amassing power. But yeah, he since he's not a ruler, he has like some responsibility, but not like, punish by the heavens or whatnot. And I thought that was pretty interesting because Asano, he was like, yeah, I believe in that because this world is messed up. Yeah. So he totally believed him in that sense.
Because, at this point, Asano is super broken mentally.
Yes.
And he's like,
he really is.
He's like,
and he has a gun.
He's like, I'm a player in this messed up game.
Right.
So it's like, I gotta do something. And he has a gun. And he's clearly not well in the head. And he's doing a lot of atrocities.
Yeah.
He even shoots a little kid that was Yoko's friend. And at this point, Yoko, mentally, she is in a better place. And also, at this point, she also has had more character development.
Yes.
While, Asano couldn't even speak the language. So it's not like he could have a good character development or trust people.
Right.
So she is like, dude, chill. He's like, you're not special. It's like, you don't have a role to play in here. Like, don't do anything stupid.
Yeah.
And then I will take you home because Yuka went home, so I will take you home. So just chill. And he's like, oh, okay. Because he was treated as an enemy from Yoko. Because,
right.
he was clearly not good because he tried to shoot her. So she was like, okay, nope.
Tie you up.
He's like, I'm not going to have you around, but I'm going to tie you up. And like, it was also like during this last episode of the third arc that he pretty much sacrifices himself to find reinforcements.
Yeah.
And
that was pretty. Oh man, I don't know what to think of that because he was running over to like tell more people to come and help, but then they were already on their way, and he's like, oh, why was I even in this world? And then only later, a couple episodes after, we find out that he ultimately died. I thought that was really, really like good writing, but it was like really heart-wrenching because he was like he wasn't special. He didn't really have like a role, but
but at the same time, it's like, okay, Yuka, like she was brainwashed and whatnot.
Yeah.
But to a point, she made friends with the king, so she had a somehow not so hard time. And then she was able to come back to Japan.
That's right. Yeah.
But out of the three,
Asano got screwed.
Oh boy, like
Dude.
So
oh my god.
So he dies after all the rebellion ends. He is buried in the land of Kei.
Yeah.
And also they just put his gun there as a memento.
I know that was such an odd detail.
Yeah, I was like, why put it there? But it's okay. So like the wrap up of of Yoko actually becoming a real queen.
Yeah.
I thought that was super impressive
it was.
because she was, a normal rebel.
Yeah.
And then you see the royal army that is marching against the rebels.
Yeah.
And she's like, hold up a second.
Who did this?
Isn't the royal army just obeying orders from the queen? Just asking for a friend.
Mm-hmm.
So
and she totally calls
Keiki. Yeah. Keiki transforming in his magic unicorn form.
Yes.
The royal army is like, we're like we don't even have to attack. Just by
them,
by our presence, they're gonna stop. And the officials were like, we're gonna do that. Mm-hmm. We're just gonna use the royal army to intimidate people.
And she's like, no.
And then she's like,
the crap are you thinking?
So, General,
I'm the freaking queen.
Who's the queen that told you to march here? It's like, queen, but I thought you were in another kingdom.
I'm here.
Am I like? Are you asking the questions or am I asking the questions? Like,
oh man,
you, my queen. He's like, okay, so answer me. Who do the royal army obey? The queen, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty.
Did your queen told you, or like, do you have another queen? Like, no, Your Majesty.
Oh, dude.
Huh. Interesting. Why don't you just pack your bags and go and arrest these people that is like, oh crap.
They're like, okay. Yes, my queen. Yeah, that was awesome. Cause they like freaking royal army, they totally thought they could like do something.
And also the officials, because for a good, the officials, I thought that the officials, I mean, they were jerks, but I didn't think they were wicked.
Yeah. Right.
And it turns out that it was all their machinations and like it was just, like a spider web or a lot of dramas.
It was
trying to cover things up.
Yeah.
And then Yoko, well, she was on her enlightening journey of being a rebel. She's like, okay, so you actually have been using me, not only like making fun of me behind my back, but like you see me as nothing. Okay.
Cracks her knuckles.
hold my hallucination sword for me.
Oh yes. The freaking, we haven't even talked about the sword. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I thought that was really well done. She figures out the one to blame, and the rebellion goes fairly well. Like Shoko, what was his name? It was Shoko, right?
Yeah, that tyrannical lord. Yes.
Yeah, he is pretty much captured. The rest of the people are stopped. But yeah, that part was really good when she totally realizes.
Like all the bad officials are destituted from their position.
Yeah,
and there was a female official, like that she had nothing to do, but she was kind of like beginning to work in some machinations. Like I was like, oh yeah, well she was reinstituting the new officials or like new generals for her army. She was like, oh, and pretty much she just gave everyone a warning. Like, if you do crap, your head will go rolling. And that official was like, is that a threat, Your Majesty? Like, take it however you want.
Yeah.
Because it's like, are you seriously calling out for a threat against the queen? It's like,
yeah, seriously.
He was like, you got guts.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that was really awesome. She finally figures out how to be queen. She's very confident now. She can tell people what she's thinking, and she kind of grew in respect also to Keiki. Because a lot of the time, I felt like she was relying on Keiki a lot, just because like she felt like she couldn't help herself.
And also,
But now
Keiki, he was not that good because
he wasn't.
he
Well,
was
he was
holding back a
standoff.
lot because you know,
Yeah, he was standoffish.
especially since the previous queen just was infatuated with him and took her life. So at the same time, Keiki was like, "Oh yeah, my queen, you're not supposed to do this." It's like, say what? No, nothing. It's like,
that's a good point.
Keiki, talk.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So yeah, they finally have a heart-to-heart and start like communicating a little bit better. Dang. Yeah. Keiki, he also was kind of an interesting character where we see him off and on screen, but kind of like helping from the sidelines. So more like I thought that was pretty good development for him too.
Yeah,
just like a little bit.
The rest of the story, I like how the princess story gets a close.
Yes.
And how she's like, oh yeah, well, I was a spoiled brat. I was like, I was there with my father for the longest time, and my dad did not want me to, go outside the kingdom to see the situation. I should have done something because he's like, you should have done something.
Yes.
He's like, it was not your fault entirely.
True.
But
like, as a princess,
is like,
I thought that was.
It's like you had some authority.
Yeah.
Because even she's told by when she's traveling with Rakushan. Rakushan tells her like, oh yeah, in this other kingdom, the prince are actively working in the government, and she's like, oh well, I don't care. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then she notices like, oh yeah, I didn't know how to do crap.
Right.
And I was just a spoiled brat. And then she became like part of the rebellion.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big jump.
Yeah, that was really good. I like that.
I mean, and she also became an official.
She did. For Queen K, for Yoko.
For Yoko's court.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was really good too. I liked her like as a character. I think the princess was probably one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Along with Rakushan.
Yeah. I also liked Susu. We didn't cover much about like their story, but Susu is this character that it's always lamenting for things. And I see it. It was an excellent written character because like it's this character that it's lamenting and doing nothing about it. Just saying like, oh, my luck's the worst. My life is the worst. I'm just gonna cry about it and feel miserable.
And keep doing whatever it is without trying to change.
And don't change anything. Just like, oh, I'm just waiting for someone to rescue me. And it's like, no.
You can't do that. For 100 years.
Because he's like, okay.
Didn't say anything.
It's like, okay, this anime is like, if you want to change something, it's like just do something. Because if you keep doing the same, how are you expecting different results?
Exactly. So yeah, I thought that was, when you bring that up, that's a really good aspect of this anime, because a lot of the points of this anime is about that, like growing up, but in a way that you take responsibility for like what you're doing in your actions. Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Oh boy. We don't have a lot of time left, but the last arc is also really good. It's about the King N and how
he came to power,
pretty much how he proved everyone that he was a good king.
Yes.
Because everyone thought that he was a joke.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh no, I'm just like, taking it easy, but when it's time, to call the shots, I know what to do.
Yeah. He wasn't he wasn't a charismatic leader for nothing, and then 500 years of prosperous.
Yeah, he was one of the longest ones.
That's right.
And throughout the anime, we get introduced to a few more kings or queens, and some of them have more, less years. Some of them are old. Some of them are even younger than Yoko.
Yeah.
So I like the world building. I just thought it was just a lot of information. I would have liked to see like being adapted to completion.
Yeah,
or at least
I would have liked that too. A little bit
more.
Yeah,
because it's like this ended. It ended kind of at a good point.
Right.
But it's like I still have a lot of questions.
Yes. Yes. A lot of questions, a lot of things unresolved. Like Taiki being in Japan. Maybe I'll have to read the next volume of the light novel. I've read a couple of light novels, so maybe I'll give it a try.
But I mean, if you find it, let me know, because I couldn't find it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'll just see if I can find it anywhere. But yeah, it was really good.
I'll just buy the original one and just use Google Translate and
there you go. Yeah, that's a possibility. Oh gosh. The ending was pretty good. It had a few arcs. The last episode also was kind of like a reminiscence type of episode. But yeah. The one thing I do want to say with this particular anime is that we never see Yoko. Well, I mean, of course, other than the beginning arc when she wants to go home and whatnot, most of the anime, other than like Yuka actually going back to Japan, we never really see like Yoko going back to Japan herself, or her not really wanting to go back ever again. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Right, because there's this point where she's hesitating between going back to Japan or staying, because she's like, well, either decision I will regret it, because there was already a point. At this point, she was kind of like accepting this new world.
Yeah,
and
because she realized,
and she was no longer that miserable. She was like, I'm feeling good here. I'm feeling like that I can be myself here.
Yeah, and she realized there's people that need help in this world. Yeah, I thought that was pretty fascinating.
And I mean, we didn't cover the sword, but I think the sword play an excellent role, because the sword has this like monkey showing her visions and also showing her what she was thinking of. So like her true thoughts.
And really cool plot device, because you don't want to have like thought monologues all the time. So yeah, really good device.
But it was a great story. It's kind of sad that I think it got canceled or something.
Yeah.
But it's a good anime. 45 episodes.
Yep. Yeah. Pretty long one. Yeah, definitely worth it.
2-day anime.
2 days.
No, it took me more.
Yeah. Okay.
No. Well, anyways,
Yeah, it's a long one.
12 Kingdoms. It's a great story. Definitely good isekai. Not like that dumpster fire that we have right now.
Right.
That we still watch either way.
I'm like genuinely looking forward to the vending machine one. Oh man. But yes.
So yeah, I mean, if you're looking for an isekai with an actual plot, with good world story building,
intricate,
a lot of character development, not only from the main character but from the other supporting characters. Go watch the 12 Kingdoms.
Yeah.
If you're only looking for your power isekai with fan service, watch any other isekais from
literally
the recent
others.
seasons.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. Boy, but yeah, hope you liked it. We'll
Yep.
see you next week. Keep watching anime.
See ya.
Matane.